Oh my goodness. Welcome back, everybody, from our break. I was reading notes. Um, Let me just say to you, welcome to session 59.
Hey.
just wanted to
Wow.
just wanted to play with that a bit. And I was just like, session 59, how did that happen? And what's really fun is on the um on the Anchor where I post all of our podcasts. I'm presenting it as the final arc of a long-term campaign. So it's like a part 1 through whenever we wrap up of just presenting our final arc, so that people can listen in and kind of get a feel for what a final arc might feel like. Because there's a lot of people that never get to level 18, that never get to play for over 2 years, that never get that experience of, a final arc. What the hell does that even mean?
Actually, it's a part 1 final arc. There's going to be like about 5 parts to it.
Oh yeah, yeah, probably.
Really stretch it out.
Well, and I enjoyed I was talking to Sam, and I love some of the ideas that we've been floating around for our next campaign. Now I reserved our new time slot. So this group, if you still want to do the 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for our future campaign, I'm going to reserve it for that. And what I'd love to do, based on my conversation with Sam, I would love for all of you guys to pick the campaign. And not only pick the campaign, but this time when you write your backstories, they're purposefully written with the idea of the campaign in mind.
Interesting.
Another idea I had that kind of ties into that is we each create like a major, kind of like an area, like a city or something, and you can like create the style that it's in and who lives there.
Oh, like build your own hometown?
Exactly.
Your hometown, or it could just be a place that's somewhere in the world that we might end up going or might not.
Oh wow!
Like
Interesting.
maybe you design like a city state or a small kingdom or an empire, and you get to design like their styles and what they do and their social structure and all that. And you just and we'll send that off to storytelling.
Or to whatever level you'd like to build it. And then a couple possibilities with that. Maybe creating your own subclass, or creating your own lineage, or creating your own idea of the character. What I would love to explore with is your guys' starting points become the narrative for me to operate within, so that your narrative is constant and the world is being evolved through your own narrative.
Have you picked an age setting for...
I have some thoughts, but I feel like, I have the added bet. Like I'm spoiled. I'm playing in so many games that I get to experiment with a lot of different theories and time variations. Like this one's been really fun because we've been playing with time in many different ways. And I kind of feel like it's been our own little private multiverse that we've been kind of messing with and having some fun with it. Whereas my Tuesday and Wednesday game are 5 years post Divergence. So they're playing right after Calamity. So it's like, it's this, what does that say?
Happy International GM's Day.
Oh, wow. That's so funny. I was like, what's going on there?
I was like, Keen.
Keen became a banner ad. I was a little concerned.
You got a little something on your screen.
So yeah, just some thoughts, because I figure what we'll do is, by the way, I after doing some rewriting and some, even though I know I've written 3 endings for this, I've added a 4th ending.
Of course.
And I've added 1 more milestone.
Yes.
So there is a possibility of getting to level 19.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was going back and looking at my original arc stories that I was writing, and I began to realize that some of those original tangents you guys went off of and then never really continued exploring, one of them I picked back up on because I think it makes sense as to where it would have gone at this point, and I kept it a dynamic tangent line. and I think it works, and I like it, and it presents a very unique and interesting challenge, and I decided to turn it into a milestone. So depending on how the choices go from here on, we'll see if that milestone is able to slip in to this.
Cool.
I mean, because you guys are basically gods.
or god killers. Because
yeah, that's true. Well,
Yeah.
you're at least in the
We went
presence.
the
of
Since
other
we're
way.
facing gods, we better be up there. Yeah.
So with that, let's talk about where we last left off.
Mm.
After leaving the monastery and finding your way back towards Workspire, you stopped off at the ancient glacier city of the frost giants. There, you discovered another vestige, a vestige of the Wild Mother, a vault, and a very unique dragon guarding this vault. Not only did you manage to free the frost giants, but you managed to defeat this fractured remnant of Geladon. You then joined the frost giants in burying their chief, as they have decided to go back to their nomadic way of existence, as they are going to wander the ice tundra of the Greying Lands. The team eventually made it back over, but before they did, a very important thing was rediscovered yet again, as a very persistent Mira was not willing to give up on that blade that had fallen under the rubble and remains of the tower that had collapsed down into the snowy ravine. And here, a very important blade was recovered. Abraxas has kind of taken on this blade, and it seems to have unique capabilities, unique opportunities that it might help in getting closer and closer to this final retrieval of the final book. But the team took some time. They rallied up with Menti on the airship, and the airship has had some upgrades as well. It's not quite the same old airship as it used to be. And during our 2 days of travel, day 1 and 2 seemed to be relatively normal, but by day 3, we needed to settle down into the ice and snow as a heavy blizzard had settled in to the corridor of travel the team was on. And I believe where we last left off, you guys were discussing certain things that had been recently discovered, certain points of interest. One in particular that seems to have burbled to the surface is something called the Shadow Forge, and a possible destination that was reported to Allura. She also said that she would send Griffin riders to the Anchor's Weight and within the rendered region to look into other possible incursions or other possible activities that might be going on during your guys' long travel up towards the rendered region. It is early evening. You guys have settled into the snowy plains of the vast expanse of the tundra that's all around you. The blizzard has set in. Menti's been forced to abandon travel and settle the ship down onto the glacial fields. It's cold. You guys have built an ad hoc kind of little campsite on the deck of the ship. I believe Gork filled a metal bucket with wood and flame and kind of has a little stove going.
I also remember I was gonna try and talk to some of y'all, and I completely forgot what it was I wanted to talk about. It's been a week, and I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Well, it has
I
been a
think
few
It's
weeks.
been a while.
Yeah.
Gork was fixated on what's the point of getting these books if the problems keep on
Oh,
coming
that
back.
is right. That is
Good
right.
notes.
It was an incredibly intelligent conversation from a bloodthirsty orc.
Yes.
I see Keen's been busy with Midjourney again.
Oh.
It's very hard to do dragons on Midjourney. That is a good prompt, whatever you came up with.
Oh, I had to paint in the wing
Oh, I know.
and
Oh,
add
yeah,
all
added your own art.
the
Very
I've been
zombie undead
I've been
damage.
learning Photoshop again because of some of the things that I'm working on. So yeah, it's pretty though. I like the scale. The scale looks amazing.
It does look super dope. I like how the 10 out of 10. I like how the head has like the skull, like the skeleton, like an exoskeleton on it. I think that looks dope. Super dope.
It's early evening. You guys are on the deck of the ship, waiting for the blizzard to blow by. I believe walls of force were used to kind of help keep the snow from pummeling onto the deck, and a nice little clear area of the deck has been created as you guys have now just hunkering down to try to pass out or pass through this storm that's currently wading in to the glacial fields. What would you guys like to do?
Are we all out on deck?
I believe so.
I'm in in my little lean-to thing I probably put together around my little fire.
Yeah, I imagine everyone was there on the deck when Gork was talking about the books.
Did we come to a decision?
Nope.
No.
I think the plan is still just to get the books.
Well, the only decision that was really made was that Mira decided to take it upon herself to pilot the Citadel to have it out of existence once we get all the books back. And we were also discussing about the variables of Keothi.
That's right.
And that Abraxas was talking about that we might encounter opposition at Anchor's Weight.
Since they seem to know we're coming.
And I think as Abraxas began to understand the purpose of the sword and the vision that it showed him, there's some concern as to the validity of Keothi. Is she a person that's gone quite mad and thinks she's a god? Is she really Kronos, or the captured Goliath that used to protect the books, who is currently isolated in the Tower of Time? Is he truly Kronos? Are these both fractures of the same god in different outcomes? There was a lot of conjecture.
Question.
And that was the Tempest blade you got, right?
Yeah, which I wrote down a bunch of stuff for it. It's a long sword that has a lot of other shit on it. So
it's so cool.
I just have it as a long sword with the stuff in the notes, so I don't exactly know.
Well, when you get a chance, repost
we'll use
it.
We'll use it.
Yeah, when you get a chance, repost it to me in Discord, the details, and then I'll put it into the homebrew items, because I'm actually building a template for that one. I really like the way that one came out, kind of like the way I did Keen's, her vestige, the Wild Mother vestige.
Yeah, that blade was so cool. Advantage on all attacks, and then extra attack, +4 damage, intelligence save 18, 4d12 psychic damage, and then I scribbled something. I can't.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's so much.
It doesn't have scribble damage, I swear.
I can't decipher
lots of scribble. Well, I think we're at that point now where I'm not entirely sure what could have happened without the Tempest blade, but I'm certainly glad Mara decided to turn into a ground fox and get it. Because I feel like, you've got Gork the Godslayer, Fridget has the staff and the mantle of power, Keen has the wrath of nature, Mara has her staff, and now Abraxas has the Tempest blade. I still don't know if it's going to be enough to beat what you've got coming against you, but we'll see.
There it is.
There's that little DM slip of fuck you, Baldric.
oh yeah. Well, we have like a super
we have like
special,
25
squad.
potions of heal, so I don't care. We'll just heal our way through your nonsense.
Maneuver. That's what we have. We're discussing game plans like football. We got formations and stuff. Yeah.
The
Mirror hut 1, mirror 2, 4, go, left C, mirror long, go, like.
We call this fireball.
At the end of the day, it's just Frigid riding the back of a dragon every time.
And Gork just falling to the ground. I guess he decided to climb up there too.
Yeah, that Geladon fight was fun. That was a lot of fun. I mean, Abraxas actually, for a moment, got a little worried. That's
I took damage? Wait a minute. What kind of bullshit is this?
You can't move. I took damage. It's all for
getting stunned.
Yeah, that lair stun was wicked.
Yeah, lots of fun. I'll tell you, it does feel cool to be 18th level doing 18th level stuff. Like we've all gotten to use our big bombs, in that last one especially, which was very fun.
Some of us have inherited new big bombs.
This sword is attunement, and I've attuned to it.
Okay.
Does as I'm like messing with it, because I said I was training with it. it like is intangible, tangible. Like is it like am I able to like hit things with it? What happens when I hit a target or a block of wood or something?
The main thing you notice that when you're sparring with either Keen or anyone else who chooses to spar with you, is that there's a psychic resonance every time your blade strikes something. Actually, this brings up a good point. Give me either an Arcana or Insight check during your sparring. And we'll say that you guys haven't quite settled in for a long rest. You're just kind of hunkered down, trying to stay out of the blizzard at this point. So we'll say you and Keen are sparring.
19.
Okay. Keen, go ahead and give me an intelligence check as well as you're sparring.
Intelligence check or save? Check?
Check. Good old-fashioned.
15.
15? There's two things you guys notice that when you spar. Every time the blades come together, time skips. And you get the feeling that might be the advantage of the blade. It's actually pausing time, allowing Abraxas to move quicker. You also notice that the resonance that the blade gives off when it collides with another blade, it's almost as if it's projecting psychic power. You're not entirely sure this blade is fully revealed yet.
Okay.
So say you two kind of figure that out while you're sparring. Gork, you're over by the fire. For Jet, Mira, what are you two doing as you guys are kind of waiting for this blizzard to pass through?
I'm up in my hide.
You're up in the crow's nest?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me a perception check while you're up there.
15.
Okay. Good to know. Mira, what are you doing?
Well, Mayra, she's gonna go to her greenhouse.
Oh, that's right, your greenhouse. So you made that a while ago, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, because like my room got like ripped off, and then we all came to an agreement.
So I wrote up some of the greenhouse. There's Menti eventually kind of tracks you down and guides you down below the deck of the ship, and we had a bit of a problem with your greenhouse.
What?
It kind of got wild. So we just got to take over the back half of the ship. So it's like as soon as she says that, she walks you towards the rear cabins of the lower deck. It like a bird flies by, kind of like goes right by you. There's bushes, trees, flowers, but it's all based on the fact that Menti has sequestered one of the automatons to persistently create humidity. So there's like an automaton up in the corner, and it's just belching like humidity 24/7, and this like kind of out of control verdant garden space just kind of come into existence.
Oh, Mira.
I mean, I don't know what you got to do with it, but hey, it's all yours. And she turns around, just kind of clinks off, back towards the stairs, and you can hear her go back up towards the main deck.
And then Mira will turn around and say, "Thank you, Betty."
Yeah, it's gonna be really good when that wood gets to rotten. But okay, yeah.
Oh, don't worry. And Mira is just elated at the sight of this spring in a storm, and she will start tending to the flowers and basically writing down all the different species in her little notebook and compare what type of seed she has and just having maintenance on it.
Give me an investigation check or a nature check, your choice.
I feel like nature.
That seems to be the case.
24.
24. There are some unusual sprouts and plants in here. Probably the most unusual thing is sleeping on a medium-sized mushroom, like a purple yellow spotted mushroom. Laying across it and sound asleep is this very portly and horrifically dressed pixie. He's surrounded by empty liquor bottles.
Oh,
his shirt is stained and pulled up past his protruding belly. He's got one sock on, one sock off, and he's got his bag bundle off to the left, and he's just snoring loudly. But it kind of sounds like a mouse being stepped on when he snores. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And he's heavily tattooed. You can see just very, very poorly done tattoos on him.
We have an edgy pixie on our hands. Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
So Mira's gonna peer down and look at the pixie and be like, hello? Sir?
He rolls over to his side. He's got plumber's trousers on now. Just a little bit of the moon peeking out.
Mira will notice one of the pungent flowers that are close by. She's gonna encourage it to give a little poof of the fragrant smell over to the pixie and see if he wakes up.
Pollen puffs out in this way. It's kind of strange, yellowish orange kind of, gas kind of envelops him. He starts to sit up. His eyes are blinking. They're kind of gluey shut. He's got kind of rubs at him, and he's testing empty bottles. And then he kind of looks up at you.
Hi there.
Oh, hi. Are you a giant?
To your eyes.
This used to be a great place. I thought it was empty. Is this your place?
For now it is.
Oh.
How long have you been here, little one?
I don't know. I've been. He kind of wipes at his mouth. Finds a bottle and drains it back. I kind of crawled on board when it was, back at the floating city thingy.
Ah, yes. You
Yeah.
came from the tree.
Yeah.
Poof! Oh, sorry.
I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, there's a whole bunch of us that kind of accidentally came through that tree. We kind of didn't know what to do, and we just kind of wandered around for a while, and I eventually just ended up on your ship. Did you know that there's someone on this ship that keeps a lot of booze?
Yes, and there's also someone else you probably need to steer clear of.
Yeah, what would that be?
Big man in tin. Just make sure you hang around here for a while.
Oh, And he's probably all of 8 inches tall, and he stands up on the. He cracks his back and he's looking at the mess he made and looks at you.
You certainly made yourself at home.
Are we still? If it's colder and it sounds louder outside, I've been asleep for like a week, I think.
Wow, that is definitely a long rest.
Are we not at the Citadel? Are we not at the place anymore?
No, we are far from it. We are actually northwest, towards Anchor's Weight.
Oh, shit!
We're a little bit far from home.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this has been a terrifying conversation. I'm gonna.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, what's your name?
Well, to be fair, everybody was talking about how you and your friends eat Fey people.
Well, I certainly don't. That's why I said to be wary of the man in tin.
Well, the greenskin was eating the remains of the Fey people.
Yes.
Seeds off the ground, those things? Those are actual Fey people that don't, make it back in time.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Like, they're little corpses. He's eating little corpses. So you can kind of see how maybe, strange conversations, rumors can get started when you eat Fey corpses. Just saying.
Well, make sure to not step out of line with the big green guy then.
Oh, or he'll eat me then, is what you're saying.
Just be careful. Maybe if you just hang around with me, you'll be just fine.
My benevolent overlord. Of course. Yeah,
Yes.
I will do whatever to curry your favor to make sure you don't feed me to the big green guy. Sounds perfect. Sounds like we found the big bad. That's great. Awesome. It's awesome.
Well, it seems you've been taking good care of this place.
Not really.
And she looks at the empty bottles.
it's just a detriment. I mean, he's basically a squatter.
She's gonna pick up one of the bottles. How
I mean, it's like picking up a piece of jewelry, just like this little tiny glass piece of jewelry, but it's pretty pungent. It's got a nice kind of like alcoholic fragrant to it. It's pungent. He's pungent.
Yeah. Maybe you should take a little shower in the tiny spring over there.
Why? Is there a party?
Yes. There will be a party later.
Oh, okay. And he just starts taking his clothes off, and now he's a naked pixie. He's kind of climbing off the mushroom, and he goes he disappears into the undergrowth of the garden space, and you could hear him washing around in something, but you're not really sure what it is.
Do I smell him?
I mean, could be water.
Okay.
And the amount of humidity is being kind of like ejected into the garden space.
Okay, she'll think to herself, now we got a poof on our hands. Okay. All right. Just try not to cause.
That's what happens when you roll a natural 20 at the start of the day.
All right. And I'll just stay and tend to the garden and hang out with Poof.
Okay. For Jet, from your vantage point, looking across and down as the kind of left to right of the blizzard coming across with the wind speed, although it's being buffeted off the walls of force, it gives you enough of a visualization that the familiar glacier worms have been sighted a couple times, but they seem to either be hunting other prey or they're migrating. They're just in these, you can see at sometimes a single large worm kind of crest out of the ice and kind of go back down, followed by maybe, followed by maybe 2 or 3 smaller glacier worms that are kind of following as well. And they seem to be purposely using the blizzard as cover so that they can move quicker, so that they can move at a pace that allows them to continue to migrate what appears to be the same direction that you guys have been going towards, that deep northeast, and eventually hoping to arrive at the rendered region. Already the blizzard is beginning to kind of taper off a bit. The air pressure is kind of like collapsing. Now it's just a snowdrift. By mid-evening, it's a snowdrift. Just snow kind of coming down, settling. Then all of a sudden you guys feel the ship begin to rise as Menti puts it back up in the air for the remainder of Days 3 travel. Although you lost a little bit of time because of the storm. Anybody want to do anything before the long rest and before we start Day 4?
I would like to go find Keen.
Okay.
Where would she be?
She's probably finishing sparring with Abraxas.
I'll just kind of wait until they're done, and I'll call Keen over to my fire when they're done.
Okay.
How did I do in the sparring against a vestige?
Yeah, I would say that it was more about trying to understand how things work.
Okay.
Is there more about these things that mean more? And it was more about a decompressing from the travel and decompressing from the recent events than the true importance of the spar.
Okay.
And eventually you and Braxis take a break, and Gork is kind of over by his fire, just kind of waving over to you, Keen, to come on over.
Okay. Yeah. I'll go on over, sheath my sword, and plop down next to the fire.
Keen, your previous employer, what was her name again? Alora. I remember you saying that she used to deal with these incursions before, demonic incursions.
I think so.
How much do you think she knows about all of these things?
Gork is looping another string for the map. Now he's going towards the madness that is Alora with lots of her wizardy power.
I imagine she knows what I've reported to her.
But
she's powerful, but she's not
all-knowing.
That's part of my job, is to inform her.
What about just the demonic in general? She knows much about that, yes.
I don't. Would I know how much she knows about?
Give me a history check.
Demonic.
Yeah, give me a history check. Some of what you know about her is common, but
8.
You know that during her lifetime, she has engaged in very unique activities that require, I would say one of her most unique lifetime encounters was with the subjugation of Thordak, not once, but twice. The original subjugation, and then the eventual destruction of Thordak, when Vox Machina helped free Amon during the Chroma Conclave Wars. She's had to deal with other things since then. Being a friend of Pike has always called her away on occasion from time to time to deal with slight incursions.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know if we're dealing with an incursion of this scale. This scale feels massive. This kind of situation that you guys find yourselves in.
Okay. So I'll say she's fought some very powerful beings before, like the Chroma Conclave. But as far as beings from the lower planes, nothing that powerful.
What do you think she would make of all of this if she knew what we did? Keothi, the books, the fortress.
Actually, I think she does. Because, like the day before I reported in, that's how we found out that she was sending the Griffin Riders ahead to Anchor's Weight.
What did she tell you about Keothi? Did she tell you what she thought on the matter?
I don't remember. Did she? I don't think she mentioned anything specific about Keothi. Just
she's she's been kind of very avoidant about Keothi specifically. But then again, you guys as a group haven't been divulging a lot of information about Keothi either. You've been pretty kind of like retrospective about your relationship with Keothi and the quest that you're on and the journey that you've been on, and getting people involved up to a point. But as soon as the links are becoming more evident about the corruption of the books and Keothi's ideas about the Calamity never truly ending, which for the most part is considered heresy throughout most of, I mean, she would be arrested and thrown in prison if she arrived in Vasselheim at any given time or opportunity. So from that perspective, it's mostly been kind of keeping everybody on the edge of awareness, but no one's really delved into your discoveries all that much.
Okay. So I would have filtered in about some of the new discoveries about some of the basics, I think. The basics. And then definitely that we were worried that once we touch the final book that she's going to activate.
Keothi may be an unknown factor when that happens, yeah.
Well, what about you? What do you think about Keothi?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Every time I think I know something, it turns out to be like totally wrong.
That does seem to be how things have been going for us. I ask because I'm not sure if we necessarily want to bring the books back to the fortress. We do not know at the end of the day if that's the right thing. We keep being told that that's what we need to do to lock them away forever, and it makes sense. And the Keothi has been telling us to do that the entire time, but I still don't trust her.
Yeah, I agree. I don't trust her. And then the Goliath was also encouraging us to...
She warned us of Keothi.
Okay. Yeah. I think the other day when you brought up that bringing the books together when they've been separated for so long may be just as dangerous as, or more dangerous than having left them alone. And I can't help but wonder that we're doing somebody's work for them.
I mean, think about it. Look at the power that these deities have been throwing at us. Dragons, armies of these little demon creatures. Why now? Why were they not gathered centuries ago? And if we fear that bringing them together will force their hand, isn't that what they've been trying now? It's not working.
And while I won't say things have been easy, we've been going on against some very, very powerful beings.
But weren't there others who were given the protection of these books before? The Goliaths. And they failed. Why weren't the books collected then?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing a lot of information. It's funny because when I first joined with the Grey Guardians, my mission was basically to help retrieve the books. And I didn't know why. And I never really asked.
I don't think any of us know why. We are simply told this is what we need to do. Take the books to the Citadel. Get them out of here. Do this, do that. Go get the books. I think we're being played.
Well, we have most of the books. we could decide what to do with them.
I mean, don't they need all the books to open the portals to the hells, to free the gods from their chains? Why not just take one and sequester it away somewhere deep and dark where they'll never be found?
I think
The rest are useless. No, not useless, but
it's because, if Keothi is to be believed, that unless we use the books to seal the portal, the betrayer gods still have influence in our world. And the calamity continues. And that was why we should bring all the books together.
wasn't the calamity when all the gods decided to lock themselves away for the betterment of this world? Then why can I still speak to my god? Why are there still clerics and paladins scurrying around all over the place? If we had to lock them all away, would that not lock us away from them as well?
Probably need to talk to a cleric.
I don't think a cleric would know. The point is, if we take all these books and throw them out into the void, with the hells, with Asmodeus and all of his kin, wouldn't they all still be able to influence our world like any of the gods influence them now? So what is the point of getting the books? Why are we trying to sequester them away if we don't know what we're doing?
I don't know.
Well, that's the point. I'm not so... what's the word? It's kind of... not so sure anymore that we are doing the right thing. Doubt.
I think when Gork says that, I mean, that hits Keen very hard, because that basically is what happened. You know, a lot of her backstory is like doing the right thing and not knowing if she's doing the right thing. And she thought she had found a purpose now. So
I think if we are going to try and bring these books back to the Citadel to send them away, even though the giantess has told us that that is a trap, at least she suspects it might be, we need to have another plan for the books in case that is what they want. The Asmodeus and them. Or anyone else, I don't really care who. Asmodeus, your lady, the other gods. I think they're playing us like pawns in their stupid game.
So we keep the books away from all of them.
Well, I think we need to have another plan for when this all goes to shit.
Because knowing us, it probably will.
Not to us. We are not the problem.
Okay.
If the giant is right and we bring the books back to the Citadel and a portal begins to open, we need to have a way to, well, undo what we've done, or sequester these books away, or we need to have a plan to get them out of there, or something or the other. I'll be honest with you, I don't do this because I necessarily care for the other empires of this world. But if this world is destroyed, my people will have nowhere to go. I cannot risk this world being destroyed.
Yes. And then I kind of like touch the crown on my head and say, I've been tasked with protecting the world as well.
So you have. Everyone thinks we're trying to protect something, the world, this or that. But I'm not so sure anymore.
It was a lot easier when I just took orders. I feel like...
I think for me it is now easier than it ever has been. My place is not on this world. My place is at the side of my God, fighting whatever war he so pleases to fight. But I must leave the world for my people.
I wish I had your certainty.
Oh, it's not certainty.
Well, at least
I am certain that I will
conviction.
die and that I will go on to fight forever. But that will be all for naught if my people will all come with me all at once. If you get my drift.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know what to do.
Perhaps we... Well, I don't know.
Abraxas is usually the one that seems to have the plans.
He does. He also seems to be very convinced about these books.
Well, I see why you're talking to me then.
Well, I know where he sits. I think I know where Fridget and Mira sit on this. But I think you, like me, have some doubts. Well, they might have doubts too, but that's not the point.
Storyteller, how do I, since I have a connection to the books, do I have any sense of, like...
I think your main connection is because you've touched the 9th book that was being protected by one of the Gateway Guardians of... And once again, that particular instance, everything was frozen in time. Things were so, not necessarily frozen, but they were moving so slow that when you penetrated that temporal space that was purposely affecting that space to keep them from retrieving the book, that moment of your collision of both time and the book gave you this unique ability to now know where the other books are. This persistent nagging, this persistent itch that 9th book is somewhere located in the rendered region never truly goes away. It's almost kind of like that, you get a little popcorn kernel stuck in your tooth for like a week, and it's just that annoying. And what Gork is pointing out to you is that if Abraxas is right and this is the correct timeline you're supposed to be on, this is the one that determines the outcome as to whether or not whatever this force is trying to accomplish, whether it's the completion of the Calamity or some other unknown reality that's supposed to come to fruition during this execution of this timeline. Why is there still there's missing pieces? We know where the final book is, at least an approximation. But what was the purpose of that community of dragonkin and the great statue that was never truly explored? The dragon seemed intent on convincing everyone that she was merely protecting her kin and found them a safe place to reside because they were running from their own troubles, their own troubled history. Was that a deviation of the timeline? The resolidification of the Citadel and the twins attempting to corrupt the council. is that really all on the same timeline, or are these deviations that have nudged you and your friends to stay on the correct path? What if you were to make a decision right now that was so dramatic? Would it upend the timeline, or is it your fate already decided? Are you on a fate's path, or is the path being forced upon you because choices that you and your friends are making? And the idea of the books that currently Fridget has, no one's really bothered to open them. No one's taken the time to wonder if these books are real. They were simply devices that everyone felt convinced that they should be kept safe. Is all this actually real?
D6 inspiration to you, storyteller. You went exactly where I was about to go. I was looking
in your special Gorky way. No, I was following you. You're hitting on some points that you guys haven't quite messed around with yet.
I was looking keen. We were given the choice to either save this world or to let it fall. I believe there are other options we do not yet see.
I think you're right.
And I don't think anyone wants those options. I think that whoever is playing this game wants us to choose one of the two. And me being a spiteful, angry orc, I'd like to choose that third option, just to piss them off.
I don't want to be used again.
We already are.
Yeah, so I want to change that. You know what? Since apparently I can touch the books now, maybe I should read some of them.
Fridget's like, what? Her eyes just read paragraphs.
Perhaps you should read them, and well, I'll be there with you. You can read them to me. We can find out what they say.
Shit. I'm going to get my other notes out because I may have just opened Pandora's box. Hold on. Oh, fuck.
Story time with Gork.
Yeah, no shit. I was like, oh my God, he is so pathing right now. Oh my God.
I'm metagaming.
No, you're not.
Without knowing I'm metagaming.
Yeah, I was
Regular
gonna say.
gaming.
Once
Okay.
upon a time in the Nine Hells.
There's a cute little orc that could slay gods.
Yes. Orc the orc.
All right. Well, I think I'll...
Perhaps we should go see if Fridget will let us open them.
Okay. Let's go appeal to her curiosity.
That's smart. I was just gonna hold her down while you opened the box. But that's smart.
All right, Gork, you got a D6 for that one. I don't know how I feel about it, but I love how Keen was like, no, we don't have to hold her down. But that was pretty funny. I like that one. That was good.
We'll go stomping on down to find Fridget.
Okay. I guess if we pass either Abractus or Mira, I might also just kind of catch their attention.
I would say with you and I'd say you, Abraxas, and Gork are on the main deck. You saw Fridget climb up to her perch a while ago, so she's up in her perch. And Mira disappeared down below decks maybe a half hour or so ago. Every now and then you hear sounds of like she's having a conversation with someone, but it seems odd considering everybody's accounted for. So maybe she's finally snapped and she's just talking to herself.
She has been known to talk to spirits and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already talked to myself.
Okay. Well, so Fridgette's in the crow's nest, so we're not walking to get her. Do you want to wait for her to come down? Should I give up?
I'm just sitting around my fire. I think it'd be better just to wait.
Yeah.
If she doesn't come down soon, we will go. I'll just like, screw this. Forget! I just scream up at the top of the mast.
Over the wind and the kind of like creaking of the ship in the air, Fridgette, you could hear Gork's wonderful melodic voice. I would say everyone hears Gork's wonderful melodic voice.
Yeah.
Did you see Fridgette's little rosy cheeks pop over the edge of the crow's nest looking down at you?
Oh, me and Queen have something we want to ask you.
Would we have overheard any of this, or are we?
I mean, I would imagine no, but Abraxas, you would have been lingering on the main deck, just kind of probably.
Well, I'm having my wall of force up, so I'm still having to like focus on it.
Yeah,
I probably wasn't trying to like hide anything until we started to talk directly about like
about possibly.
Hey, by the way, everything is wrong. The world is against us.
The typical paranoia of someone designed specifically from a lineage of god killers, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. So Fridgette, they seem to that you watch as Gork is like beckoning you down, that you overhear him yell that him and Keen want to ask you something.
Yeah, I'll head on down.
Just scales down the main mast and lands on the deck. Abraxas, you would see the three of them now around the main mast. Mira, are you anything? Do you want to come back up to the main deck at this point?
Yes. So at this point, Mira already made like a little table and a chair out of twigs for.
Oh yeah, this is great. Yeah. He comes out wrapped up in a little leaf. My clothes are dirty. I'm just gonna, I just keep my sticks and berries out of the pudding.
Hanging on the stem over here.
Well, there's no reason to be rude. Sorry, never mind. Yeah, this is great. This table's going to be great. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, and here's a little nice chair. And I've already made flower crowns for everybody, so I think they're going to be really excited.
Hey, do you mind if I invite some friends?
Oh, there's more of you, Poof?
Well, yeah. Well, not here. I can summon them, and they could come hang out with me.
Sure. Just as long as it doesn't get too out of hand here. Because remember, big green guy.
Ooh, our benevolent protector. Yeah, I appreciate that. Fear and loathing. Yeah, fear and loathing. Appreciate that.
All right.
He just kind of tucks into the food on the table.
Little berries. All right, yeah, she's...
And Abraxas, you see Mira come back up on the main deck at that point.
Well, I got new flowers from the flower garden.
They immediately freeze.
Yeah, they just like fly away from the
all the petals.
Like the snow breeze slams into them. It's like dandelions.
Well,
well, you'll grow more.
Yeah.
Fridgette lands on the main deck. All of you are kind of gathered back together again.
Fridgette, me and Keen have come to the conclusion that it'd be best if she has a look at those books.
Wait, aren't you curious about what's in the books?
We're finally doing this? It's finally happening?
Right.
All your hopes and dreams.
You've been waiting for this day.
You can say that
because I think I can touch the books without,
dying.
For sure. Absolutely.
So...
Take your selection.
Maybe we should pick one.
Fridgette's got this new manic look. No. Oh, I want to see what happens. Yeah. We're finally doing this now. Yeah.
I got the first one and wanted to read it, but y'all said no, and I said you'll come around.
You died.
I was patient.
You legit died.
Is it in this timeline?
That was a different timeline, though.
Yeah, have
This
we
timeline,
even...
she hasn't opened anything.
Yeah, we haven't cracked open a book, huh? In this timeline.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Can we possibly go down below and out of the wind?
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't want to do it up here.
Yeah, I think I can do my wall of leave it up. It's up.
I mean, we're going down below. I don't think we really need it.
We'll say that there's
It's
that...
for the ship. No, remember I was trying to protect the ship too.
Well, I mean, at this point, the blizzard is gone. It's just, it's rough weather, but it's nothing that the ship can't handle because Menti's brought it back up to continue the travel at this point.
Oh, okay.
So you guys come underneath the main deck and into the commons deck. The cabins are one space lower. So the commons deck is where all the crew used to exist, but they, it's an automated ship now. All the automatons do the work. The gunners are still there, but those have all been kind of upgraded to be able to fire on their own accord with the automatons' assistance.
Didn't the captain's quarters have a big...
Yeah, it has a big integrated system that kind of helps control everything. Once again, fine gnomish engineering designed for simplicity and purpose. Unfortunately, the ship's main challenge has always been it's designed for 3-foot tall people. So it's always been kind of having to work around that limitation.
They retrofitted
the cabins area, but the commons area was already kind of big anyways, so it wasn't quite as bad as the cabins that were built for 3-foot tall gnomes. Okay. But you guys are in that area of the second deck where there's tables and just kind of like a common space that you guys kind of use to have discussions, have a meal out of the weather. It's just kind of like that cozy little space that you keep.
Wait, so are the tables in the roof fixed from when they turn into apes? Yeah.
Oh,
that's been fixed.
That was been fixed.
Good.
Yeah.
Has been fixed. You can see the 4 holes where our legs have. You can see where the new wood and the old wood.
Yeah. Oh, or what if they turn into skylights?
Yeah.
I would imagine your ship is more like the Enterprise. There's just one place on the ship that everyone signs because it's never been damaged. It's about the size of a dinner plate.
I'll find myself a seat at the table.
Bridget, do you pull out the box?
Yeah, I'll set it up on the table.
Okay.
Everybody. Gonna invite the others, or we just gonna just the 3 of us?
Oh, Braxis and Mira would be there, I think.
Oh, yeah.
They joined us on the deck. So
yeah.
I think we're all together.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a book club now.
Oh. So I'll open it up. Present the books.
Gasp of souls.
Yeah, it feels like opening the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
I will.
Everybody starts melting.
I will go ahead and preemptively cast protection from evil and good on Keen as well.
Okay.
I have dispel magic locked and loaded in case, because I am 100% sure someone's dying in this room. This is as much as I agree that it happened on another timeline. I'm like, good luck to us all. Here we go, and I'm like, I have a thing locked and loaded, ready.
And I have Revivify, and she's crossing her fingers. That's the Revivify spell.
I'm like uncursing.
We're ready. We're ready.
I think we're ready. Okay.
All right, Keen, which one do you want first?
I guess when the box opens, maybe I'll
Which one are we missing?
You're missing book 6 is the one that you have not retrieved yet.
And the one that Keothi has is which one?
I believe she has book 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I should just write.
So you guys are currently in possession. So when you look at the book or at the box, the interior of the box, it is designed to hold these books in very specific order, and they're kind of organized in book 1 through 9 order. The interior of the box, I don't think, has ever been really investigated. So, Keen, as the box is open and you start looking at the overall setup of the interior, give me an investigation check as you begin to examine it.
23.
23. The interior of the box has a slight deviation in the leveling of the sort of the book. The highest level being the first book, and then at the lowest level of the sort, you could see the Book of Nessus, which is Asmodeus's book. And they all seem to equally represent the idea of each of the locations, right? Avernus, which is the gateway entry into the Nine Hells. There's Dis. You do not have the Book of Memon, which is the Moneros book. So there's an empty spot there. You have the Philagathos and the Stygia book, but the Stygia book triggers your memory the most. That was a hard fight. A lot of people died to get that book. By far, that felt like the most dangerous contest that you guys had been on. While there's a great deal of fear as your eyes rest on the Asmodeus book for a moment, and how important it was to find that book and the gradual recuperation of the Citadel.
Correction, I'm immune to fear.
You're immune to reality.
Fear.
But what's really interesting is the one that felt, the Mephistopheles book. That was a journey. That one reminds you because you had to actually go to that level of hell. But it never felt like it was the actual one. It felt like you were just tasting the edges of a really good apple pie. It was just like there was such a sense of fear and intensity of existing in another place of existence like that. Even though you never got to the inner sanctum because of what the tiefling had helped you kind of accomplish, helped all of you escape, because he wanted to escape as well. Once again, these books seem to be important in nature, in the idea, but they all feel like keys. They all feel like gateways. They all feel like their purpose is to be able to move in and out of these spaces.
Perhaps we should start with the first.
Well, let's think about this. Abraxas, didn't you mention in one of the timelines that a book was opened and a tentacle-haired person was in one of the realms?
A tentacle-haired person?
8 strands?
No, Mirror, that was me and Forget's on an alternate timeline.
Well, no, but in the alternate timeline, when Forget opened one of the books, she went to one of the levels of hell, and she saw the hair person making a deal with
Spader.
Yeah, me and Forget saw that, yeah.
No, I saw that when I opened it.
Is that just you? I don't remember. I thought that God gave us a vision.
So there was
was a different vision.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the god Vike, who is the patron god
Gotcha.
of the
All right.
Goliaths.
That's what I was thinking of. Continue.
Yeah, and then
that brings up a good point to mirror what Mirror is expressing, is that while the god Vike showed an image of a 9-strand-haired creature, when Forget opened up the disc book, she had experienced that same creature making a bargain with the Spader.
yes.
And witnessing that bargain had killed her, or nearly killed her.
Yes. And Abraxas told that and relayed that to us from that other timeline.
I will also mention that every time one of these books has been opened, there's been just incredible horror coming out of them. And like this book, and I'm going to point at the one that Forget touched originally and that killed her. This one, you died just from touching it. Dead.
Keen has
I'll reach
shown
out and touch
immunity
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to reach out and touch it.
You watch
I
his
know.
screen, he started touches the Book of Dis, and there's a warm harmonic feeling, and you feel a reaction to the spell that Gork cast. You feel like that barrier just prevented your psyche from imploding.
Go Gorg.
Whoa.
So, are you immune? Like
That's a good question. I mean,
She's been able to touch the bucks so far.
and it cursed her.
yeah.
She is.
Which
This isn't
now-
a gift. We are.
Perhaps it is
These
time
books,
she uses this curse, and we can learn what these books actually have to say.
Hey, we're on new ground here. I don't know the answer. The whole point being, this you have to choose your path here. What you're saying is these books will reveal something to us that we do not already know, or you're saying that it'll show us a truth that we've been lied to about. These books are pure lie and evil and deception and all of the other sins. It's hard to take these books as
How do you know what
the
is in them if
path
you
to
have
truth.
not read them?
It's hard to know the truth from the people who want these books too.
No, you're all. Two things can be true. The idea that we're being like,
Two
you know what I'm
rights
saying?
definitely make a truth.
Yeah. So like, two things can be true. One of which being we are not in a position to experiment this close to the end. I think that if
So what,
we're
you think
gonna
we should
open,
just take the books and put them in the Citadel and send it on its way?
I know in my heart that whatever we think is going to happen isn't going to happen exactly in the way we think it is. I think we need to rely on our abilities to adapt to the surroundings that we've found ourselves in, which I think is what we've kind of been very good at. Every time, at every turn, there's been something that we weren't ready for, and we were made ready in the moment. You know what I mean? Like, so I think we have been made ready for whatever is about to happen, but we don't know what that is. Yes, all possibilities are true on an infinite number of timelines. Every possibility is possible. So, yes, everything that we're saying right now could absolutely happen. That you read the books, it reveals some truth to you that these people don't want you to know. Whoever these people are, they don't want you to know. Whether it's Keothi, Kronos, Allura, Asmodeus. Who knows who it is that's going to be revealing the story? The problem is that we are forced to choose. You know, that's the problem. The problem is that we have to move forward. We cannot not move forward. It just depends. Every choice you're making now is winding that top, even like winding up everything even faster. So every choice is just a notch up on the whole craziness of what's going on, because all of these timelines are narrowing down to the one where we will have been successful. You know what I mean? And in the meantime, there's a whole bunch of shit trying to stop us from focusing it down. So, big picture, you don't have to get ready if you're always ready. And I think we've been made ready. So, I back you. Whatever you decide.
So let's open the books and see what they say.
These books
Yes.
are of great power. They have opened up portals from the hells themselves. There's a reason why people are pursuing these books.
They were opened by books. They were opened by people who did not know what they are, and by people who did not have the ability to touch them.
And this is based on a what if, Gorg. We don't know what this can unleash. We've already uncovered a small portion of what devastation might come from it.
You're not wrong. Neither of you are wrong. Neither of you, you're both right.
I've spoken to Keen, and we have been put on a path. Either we save this world or we don't. We either get this book to the Citadel or we fail. But we've been told everything we know, we've simply been told by others. First we thought we could trust Keothi, then we didn't, then we thought we could, and now again we think we don't.
Well, we can actually make the choice.
What if there is another choice besides the two? What if there is something else we can do?
How long does protection from good and evil last?
10 minutes, but I can always recast it.
Okay.
We are also, let's zoom out, okay? Besides what we've been told, there's an entire apparatus in place to travel the abyss that was constructed and then destroyed, and we have been slowly piecing together. That's a hard sell. Like, how do you incorporate that into the lie of the process of what we're supposed to be doing?
If they had the ability to send these into the abyss in the beginning, why are the books still here? Why did they not immediately just send them off?
I'm assuming that was the message that I received from Kronos, that Keothi was responsible for the separation of the tool that will eventually let the books, because the whole point is that these books cannot be destroyed and they cannot be
she interrupted the ceremony at the Citadel, and then that's what blew up the Citadel, right?
It blew up the Citadel. So what I'm saying is that these books were never meant to be destroyed. They were meant to be put on this wandering abyssal thing.
These books
sent off into the universe, sent off into the ethereal, the other space that is not here, so that they cannot be controlled by forces that will use them. So
I'm going to ask
we've been
Frigid.
But that's my
Is
understanding.
it better to know or not to know? Frigid. Better to know or not to know?
It's better to know.
I think that
but you're going to start with what you can observe. And what we've witnessed from these books is the disasters that they actively bring into this world. We've seen it in Eurylis. We've seen it in Uthadern. We've seen it in what's now the Grey Valley. We've seen it in the Citadel itself. When you touched on Asmodeus's book, we saw it down in my monastery. We've seen it all of these places. Just one book, its mere existence lures and draws in disaster and chaos. Leaving it on this plane, this planet, this existence that we're standing on right now, leaving it here is not safe. Bringing them together is probably not safe. The only choice is to get it away. And that is what the ceremony is supposed to do, right? To get it off of here. You said that you want to protect this place that we're in. That is the thing we can do to protect the place that we're in, is to deal with these disastrous books.
Abraxas, you said that these books cannot be destroyed. Is it that they cannot be destroyed, or that they shouldn't be destroyed? Are these keys, or are they the locks to the hells?
Storyteller, help me out here. I understand that. So
you guys are doing great. I love it.
Was my understanding correct that these books were meant to be put into this Citadel abyssal plane thing, to then be forever out there doing randomly wandering the astral sea. That's the one I couldn't think of. So my understanding is that these books exist because they are manifestations of the hells here. So like, if the hells exist, these books exist. So like, unless we plan on destroying the planes of hell, these books will exist. That's my understanding, is like these things are inexorably linked, to the hells. So if they are connected in that way, my assumption is that if we are here to complete the process of the to conclude the process of the calamity by sending these books off, and that's it. No more connections, no more gates, no bringing the 9 betrayer gods from hell into the material plane.
This narrative in your head, as you vocalize it to the others, while at the same time you're kind of reaching back into your understanding of what things are. You did bring up a very interesting thought there. Is something actually concluding?
Well, I mean it in the sense of like, this chapter is closed. You know what I mean? Like, if there is ever any other conclusion to the calamity, like the calamities exist. The calamity in my mind, this is Mike and Abraxas.
Right, that's fair.
Mike, I understand it like the calamity in some way created the hells in the way and formed them in the way they are. So they exist now, right? These books are part of that.
Historically, you would be aware that the founding and the calamity was the second coming of the betrayer gods. The calamity was because of Age of Arcanum and the failure of humankind to respect the arcane.
Right.
And very powerful wizards were corrupted into allowing the betrayer gods to almost come back in again.
Avalier?
The result,
the
result of that was the calamity. Now, some hundreds of years later, almost like a millennia later, you have this person who believes that that's never actually finished yet. Keothi's been pursuing these books because she felt they were keys to the understanding of how to conclude the calamity. It was her original thesis, her hypothesis, when you guys first began to understand the journey. Over the course of the journey, you've begun to realize that not only are these books maybe a little bit more powerful than she understood them to be, but there are clearly a relationship with this idea of a god called Kronos. Not a known god to Exandria, but so far a god that's trying to establish the understanding of itself within the prime material plane. And so the fractured timeline and the relationship of these books begin to feel like the calamity itself.
It's like a loop, right?
Exactly what it's beginning to feel like to you.
Right. So as I'm processing, so it's not about the conclusion, it's about the completing of the loop, right? So it closes, not the chapter,
but it closes the conclusion.
It's a form 100% was by allowing, by putting all of the pieces of the Citadel back together, by getting the books and completing the locking away of this whole thing, the initial betrayal by Keothi to stop this process.
All right, everybody give me insight checks. Everyone give me insight checks, because I feel like this conversation around the book is bringing you guys very close to a piece of information that might be helpful.
24.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's like 2.
Not 1.
Oh, man.
18.
Oh man.
Okay.
What is it? Insight?
Insight, yeah.
Oh boy, not my strong suit. 16.
Not bad.
Gork is the.
Well, he started us down this path.
Very
For Jet, what'd you get?
9.
9?
9.
Overall, as a group, not great. I mean, Gork brings a little bit of it upwards. Keen and Forjet, while Forjet believes the books are dangerous, therefore it's important to keep them contained, Keen is of the impression that all this might be linked to a single book. But as a group, you begin to think back towards your experiences. The Butcher Block was fragmented.
Mm-hmm.
The Citadel was fragmented. Time has been fragmented. Keothi exists inside of a bubble that has never stopped, and therefore she currently exists on every known timeline from within that stasis.
She unshattered herself by containing herself in the ball.
This feels like someone who is not only looking for these books, but is looking for a specific timeline that they all come together on.
The one.
You are shitting like hell.
And then your sword can pierce
every
that
time
orb.
I pet her, just more and more fur.
Wait, so say that again?
Say again, Mira?
Your sword can pierce that orb.
Yes. In again, look, if we're gonna not trust anyone, then Kronos, who's kind of imbued me with some sort of corrective action. Like I am part of the solution. He's given me this to conclude that.
For Jet, after almost 2 years of play, that's the first time your dog ever got wild.
Yeah.
What is it doing?
Wanting attention?
He's
Puppy.
Mom.
Yeah.
He's actually
Mine's right
my
here.
mom's dog, so it's sister.
Mine's right here. My Grogu. Is my
Wait, so if I have this sword that is a way to remove or I don't know, pierce that protection.
So your
There
sword
is a
against time itself, then, right?
I think it's made of. It is a version of that. The protection that she has around her, where she's like has infinite versions of herself. This sword has infinite versions of itself. It is also unshattered. It is like almost the same concept. Am I understanding that correctly?
Like a counterbalance.
Sure.
No, like the same. Remember when I used my true sight and I saw like her extend off into infinity and they're in different directions.
I would say Mira brings up a good point. The one thing that's lacking through this entire journey is balance.
So,
the one thing that, with everything being fractured and pulled apart as if things are being looked for, where's the balance? Where's the teachings of the balance? I mean, throughout the history of Exandria, we talk about the balance of, the Raven Queen, the matron, the idea of the power of Bahamut versus the power of Asmodeus, the power of Cord versus, the power of the betrayer gods. There's the main religious texts of Vasselheim teaches us that balance is the only way towards survival. If Keothi is stating that the calamity never concluded, then we've been existing without balance for the better part of 1,000 years. Does the conclusion of the calamity mean the restoration of balance?
And then also the thing is, even Keothi being present in all these timelines, that's an aberration in of itself. She could be the one propelling the calamity itself. That sword could be the counterbalance in stopping it all.
I was thinking the only reason to keep these books, to send them off far away, you say we cannot destroy them, but let's just say, for the sake of argument, that they shouldn't be destroyed. If you destroy a key, you cannot open the lock. We keep calling these books keys. What if these books are the locks? That's why we must get them all. Yeah, sure, if they have one, they could open one, but one god would not be able to do much. 2 or 3, maybe. But they would be shunted back into their place by everyone else.
But if you break a lock, you open the door.
Yes, but there are 9 doors to 9 hells. You break one lock, you only open the lock to one hell.
How do we know that? That is what an assumption.
Everything we've been doing here is based off of assumptions.
Oh, exactly my point, right? So if
let's
we're
read
just
the books
assuming,
and find out what they are.
Well,
what if, since we're dealing with a shattered citadel, a shattered butcher block that was same as the citadel, shattered split timelines, infinite. What if these books are also shattered in some way?
like if it's one book,
maybe they're supposed to be one book.
He's writing notes now.
Great.
Well,
all right. So then so I'll look at Gork and I'll just be like, and I'll pull out the sword, just kind of like, and I'll be like, all right, let's chop him in half right now. Right? Put them all together and let's chop them in half. I'll take a swing at him and see what it does. Like we are nothing but experimenters right now. We are nothing but hypothesis havers. We are not. We cannot
hypothesis havers. I'm putting that on a t-shirt.
Yeah,
I'm putting that on a t-shirt.
We are nothing. We have nothing but guessing right now.
Okay.
And
I would
all
love
that we
to
could
destroy these books and be done with it, but we must know what they say.
Let's speak intangibles here. He has a sword that can cut through time. You are a counterbalance against the gods themselves, Gork. Frigette has the knowledge behind her and all the wisdom. And then Keen, she has the power of the Wild Mother literally upon her shoulders now. And yeah, we all have something to counterbalance what's going on here. We are the guardians of these books, of the power that's held within them. What better people to gather them all and secure it? Why unleash that terror? But, oh my god. Stop it, storyteller.
What?
You heard the dice.
Oh, sorry.
You heard the math rocks.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just there's a few things going on I got to be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if we really are curious about our options, I mean, Abraxas, you've seen multiple timelines and every possibility that we may have come across. So, I believe the odds are in our favor. I think. Go on, Keen.
What if I take out one of the books but don't actually read it yet? But actually really closely examine it?
If you want to start the experiment and test some of these hypotheses, I'm all for it. Mm-hmm. But we got to understand that we don't know what we have. Usually when you have an experiment, you usually have an assumption or some sort of idea of how it will go. And we have zero.
Yeah,
we have none of it.
What these books have to say.
For better or worse.
Yes.
Pick a book, Keen.
I have a question, Braxis. So Keothi's plan for the books is to put them in the statue's hands and then do all of that. What was your guys' plan for the books?
Wait, I think the part of the statue, the hands of the statue that was part of it.
Yeah,
right?
that's the ceremony
and then
thing.
That's supposed to be where isn't that supposed to be where we put them and then the castle takes off to where it's supposed to go, like in the abyssal plane or the astral sea. I keep saying abyssal, the astral sea. So like, I think Keothi has another ritual in mind once those books get all together. I just don't know what that is, but I think the intended, Kronos' intended process was to activate the astral seafaring element of it by putting all of the books there and using the magic of the books to go poof and send it off.
Okay.
That was my understanding.
Yeah, if that's right, I just had it backwards.
I think that Keothi, when it all happened, the original Keothi interrupted it, and it shattered, the timeline.
Yeah.
And I think we are slowly but surely pulling all of the timelines together back to get to that point again, where where Keothi will emerge from her bubble, hopefully to be stabbed by me with this cool ass sword. But I think her intention is to emerge from that bubble once all the books are gathered, and then do her thing, whatever she was planning on doing, which would, in Kronos' estimation, unleash the 9 hells upon the plains. So
Yes.
And you think that us reading these books puts that in jeopardy?
I think it'll reactivate whatever was happening that we stopped when we originally attained them and locked them up in here. So like each book has been some form of gateway or planar shift to their hell, to that level of hell that it corresponds to. There's nothing to say that it wouldn't just do the same thing to whoever's touching it now, even though Keen has some sort of imperviousness to it. But
and are we
there's
sure
nothing
that
to
they
say
do
that
have an imperviousness? Because Gork cast that spell.
Yeah.
And it's
I
not
don't
just
know.
the spell? Like, Keen, do you actually think yourself invulnerable to...
She has touched these books to put them in there.
Not
We've
without
forgotten
some
that
cost.
that she has touched these before.
But she got fucked up. She got fucked up each
It's
time.
true.
Yeah.
I touched one and I aged a decade. Touched it.
Yeah, Keen is...
Forget
Keen
like
is
pulls
tainted.
out like, look, white hair. White hair.
Great! That wasn't supposed to happen yet.
Keen has never... I understand that there's some connection with Keen with these books now, that she can sense them. But, like, she did not emerge from that unscathed. She's been fucked up every time. Anyone who's touched those books has been fucked up. So the idea that she can now just suddenly be unharmed is I doubt it. Yeah. I'm not going to say it's impossible, because nothing's impossible, but I strongly doubt that she's going to walk away from this harm-free. She's going to get fucked up but potentially killed, and we're going to have to start whatever process that is unleashed. We'll have to start that process to undo it as well. I don't think the books will provide us with any knowledge that is worth knowing in the to like undo the consequences of why they're here in the first place.
I don't think opening the books is going to change what we have to do with them.
Right.
I don't think it's going to change the plan. But I do understand that it's a thing that you guys are holding very valuable, knowing what's inside these books. I want to know as well, but I'm focusing on what I've witnessed from these books is catastrophe, and I want that gone. So
you don't think it's worth the risk?
As fuck? You think that?
Oh.
Are we not gonna ignore the fact? No, I'm just kidding. The idea that she's right. Like every time something has happened with these books, it's immediately involved incredible harm to any one of us. And
I think that you
think
guys
about how
should open the
corrupting it
book,
was.
but I don't want you to go into this believing yourself impervious to the consequences.
I think at this point, Keen is conflicted and frustrated and just kind of angry, and she'll slam the box shut and say,
Give me a
"So
wisdom
be it,"
save.
and
the
she'll
moment
walk
you...
out onto the deck.
Keen, give me a wisdom save the moment you slam the box shut.
Oh,
Time will do that to you.
wisdom save?
Mm-hmm.
6.
Oof. I have,
And you watch Keen slam the box shut and head up
Does
to the
protection
main deck.
versus evil do anything?
Oh yeah, it's still up for 10.
I
Maybe
mean,
it's
no
still
immediate
up.
reaction to that. Just you guys just watch a very frustrated and angry Keen go up to the main deck.
No magical things that we could sense with our
Nope.
our readied spells.
Yeah.
I will just leave as well. I'll go back to my fire.
Okay. Go back up to the main deck and on the fire, leaving Abraxas mirroring for Jet down below.
I'm going to pick up the box and go after Keen.
Okay.
Going through all those timelines, how did you keep up hope?
Oh, me?
Yes. Because
Life balances out. It's not. I mean, what do you mean? It does not compute to not keep going.
well, you've seen every possible outcome that could go wrong.
I mean, yeah, but that's not now. That was then, or in those other thens. You know, like I don't know what you mean. Like you would, you know, like Abraxas generally does not understand. Like, what do you mean, hope? Like, yeah, just keep going.
I mean, I guess it's just from what we have accomplished so far and what we've experienced. You know, there are moments where I waver. And the fact that you're here, literally time and time again, just keep that going.
I mean,
Because I think we're going to need that.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how not to be that. Like, it doesn't, like, what's the alternative? It just isn't in me to think about time. Like it doesn't compute, like, because time cannot stop. I don't know. That just me. That's just kind of resonated with me, you know. It's a losing battle. We've fought death and won, but nobody's fighting time.
Abraxas, you can hear the ticking in the back of your mind.
Yeah, as long as we exist, and as long as, you know, scientifically speaking, as long as matter exists and gravity exists, time will exist. That's just how it works. So you can I've exerted some control over it, but it's not like, you know, time's still moving forward for me.
Mary, you feel Erebus's voice whisper into your mind. This is what zealots look like.
Oh, I can't hear that.
Mm-mm. He believes with absolute certainty that his fate and his outcome is determined. He believes in what he can see, and he believes in only the reality that he is interacting with. He does not know of the places that our minds go to. Generations of thought and time and travel. This tangent is temporary. Death will consume you, Mira, and those that come after you will know the memory of you because of me. And you will go on.
Well, time doesn't escape us then. It is just as certain. She's saying that out loud, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, time. If you're out of time, then you're out of possibility. As long as there's time, there's possibility. So, if you're in it, there's a certain amount of control that you can exert over your life and path, and I don't want to metagame, but the what I'll say is it's like it's not about like time is it's not in the force of nature kind of way. It's like a commodity, like it's something that always has that you want to have as much of as you can, regardless of how it's used. Right now we're using it for a very, very specific thing. And It's become really fractured and broken, but we still have it. And we can use what we have to make as big an impact as we can.
Yes, and the fact that we are weaving these strands of broken time together to create this timeline, it's a great deal within of itself.
Weaving is an interesting concept because if you take these separate, disparate strands of yarn, you weave them into a rope, guess what? It exponentially holds more weight. So, like if you look at what we're doing, we're trying to re-strengthen and reconnect everything so that it has the strength to withhold, to deal with all of this stuff, because right now it's fractured and weak, and as we've been putting it back together, it's made it stronger.
Yes. I believe we are on the right path. I think good things are coming. I mean, despite things being far more difficult.
So you contain all of your people or something like that. I don't know. I don't really know about, you haven't really shared all of that with us.
It's by spirit.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say that spirits are, in a sense, timeless. They are passed down through generations as a record of memory.
Mm-hmm.
And
isn't that a form of timekeeping, though? Like your people, you contain all of the time that your people have existed through these memories and spirits and stories and all that stuff. You are as much a living embodiment of time as I am, apparently.
Yes.
You have all of those years, all of those lives.
One is a clock, the other one is spirit.
Did you say that out loud, Erebus?
No.
Okay, that would have been really useful. She's like whispering to herself.
What? What?
No. Erebus just relayed to me that we are both keepers of time in our own way.
Yeah. I mean, for Jet with her books, right? Isn't that just a form of timekeeping?
Yes.
Think about how many stories of God. It's all just a form of recording history,
And it's all important. And even for history that is to come, a future. And
Yeah, we all have, like, that's the thing I'm realizing now is we all have. Think about how many times Keen has changed into people from her past. Is that not a form of keeping a log of some kind of, you know? There's everything is all about, every memory is a form of time. All the memories that we share is a form of record keeping, of just capturing time in some form, you know. Right now we're just doing literal time management. We are doing as literal an impact on time and like all of these things that involve the passing of and the witnessing of time. All that's happening right now. We're doing that in the most literal sense. So it only makes sense that we relate to it in a certain way.
yeah.
Braxis, when you say that, Mira, give me an insight check really quick when he mentions the idea of memory.
Oh, inside check.
Keen, give me another wisdom save, please.
10.
Okay.
I should have rolled with real dice. I got
Mara, what'd you
Mine
get?
real dice, you're not doing so hot.
I got an 8.
An 8.
Ocho de Ono.
Erebus lingers on that idea of memory, which causes your mind to drift. You can think yet again of a time, one of your favorite garden spots as a young child with your mother, a book in your lap, you're drawing. Your mind drifts to another memory. This time, your young adolescence coming into your mind. Your mother and you had argued about something that you don't remember, but you sit at a table writing in a book and drawing in the book. And as you aged, you always find yourself gathering your thoughts and your memories in books. You remember the last thing you did before you fled Kalishtar. You grab some of your favorite books, your favorite memories of your time. What if these books are not keys and locks? What if these books are memories? What if these books are the knowledge and memories of everything and all the things? Memories are more reflective. What if these are mirrors? Keen, give me a third wisdom save, please.
Do we notice anything with Keen?
Oh,
She's up on the main deck.
Forget would have known.
Forget and Gork are heading up after her, and you guys are having this conversation in tandem. What'd you get, Keen?
dirty 20.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Take that. I mean, yeah.
Gork and Forget. Forget, you come up on the main deck first. It's strange. Keen is over on the railing, hunched over. Blocking out the effects of the snowstorm, miasmic energy is fracturing everything around the ship. She's hunched over. She seems angry and disappointed. A crown on her head wreathed in flame. A mist, a shadow forming around her for a moment. You watch as great arcs of energy and lightning shatter around the ship, the vessel. It's buffeted. Magic slams into it and it shifts. Right behind you is Gork. Two of you being up on the main deck are witnessing a storm unlike anything you've ever seen before. Great arcs of light fracture across the horizon. You watch as something opens, like a great wound in the skyline, and a living hell flies out of it and disappears over the horizon.
A living hell?
A creature unlike anything you've ever seen. Wings, malformities, multiple limbs. A vaporous darkness consumes it as it just glides off into the horizon. The wreath of flamed crown around Keen's head gets brighter and larger. The smoke around her denser and darker.
Can I make my way over towards her?
Stop! She is mine. She has my book. And I will have it now.
Do I hear that in my head, or?
It's like echoing around you as the smoke around her begins to densely pack and form an arc. And now you're watching energy arc out from her existence, her form.
Would my protection still be on her?
You don't get the sense that it is.
I would like to rush over to her.
Give me an intelligence save, please, as you do that.
Push for something big, boys. Ooh, 18 minus 2, 16.
16. You slam into a force barrier that immediately you feel your nose, your eyes, your ears begin to bleed as you hit this barrier. Godslayer, what a farce. You've allowed yourself to believe these things. All of you have traveled so far and so close to the reality of what's about to happen. Keys and locks are for doors. What's in those books have shaped planets, have established existence, has decided the fates of billions.
Can I try and force my way to her again?
Yeah, give me another intelligence save as you're trying to peel through this barrier. For Jet, as you see Gork struggling, what are you doing?
I will cast Bless on myself.
Okay.
I would like to run up to Gork and give him enhance ability for Fox's Cunning to have advantage on the intelligence checks.
Okay.
That won't be necessary.
Yeah, I'm guessing he rolled a natural 20.
I did roll a natural. And I'll be using my Bless and one of my D6 inspiration.
Okay. How long does enhance ability last for Jet? Because if it's
concentration up more.
Up to now? Oh yeah, he's gonna need it.
Okay.
So
20.
Awesome, oh buddy.
So Gork, as you feel yourself pass through this psychic barrier, you literally feel your armor press up against you physically, and you feel this splitting headache in your mind. Because you made the second save, you can take half of the psychic damage. So take half of 126 points of psychic damage.
That's 62?
Yes. As you pass through the barrier, almost your brain almost feels like it's been forced into your skull and trying to be forced out the back. And as you shear through this ward that's been placed around Keen, you could see the tornado of smoke surrounding her. You see the great fiery crown on her brow.
Would that damage have come from Keen, like she had cast it onto me?
You're not sure. Not sure where it came from.
I would like to channel divinity rebuke the violent. Can I do that on myself?
Sure. What does it do?
Immediately after an attacker within 30 feet deals damage with an attack against a creature other than you, they have to make a wisdom saving throw of DC 17 or take equal damage of radiant.
As you slowly step through this mental barrier surrounding Keen, Fridget, you feel your concentration effect almost being shredded, almost being pulled out of your own mind as you struggle to maintain concentration. What Gork is passing through is unlike anything you've ever felt before. It's actually challenging you and the idea and the notion that you could focus on your own spell. The crown on her head is flaming ever taller and brighter. Gork, you let out this shattering scream of your rebuke, and you feel the energy pour out of you and slam into Keen's form. Keen, you take 62 points of force damage.
Can Abraxas and I hear any of the
Yeah.
Not yet, because this is going on.
Time is weird, man. Time is weird. We're just having like a conversation.
Yeah, this is going on while you guys are having a
Time is
conversation
weird,
down
man.
below. Yeah. So this is all simultaneous for the most part.
Good Lord.
For Jet, there's a presence here. There is something nearby that is trying to maintain its control over Keen. There's a battle of wills going on between Gork and what this physical manifestation is trying to do. This is unlike anything you've ever felt before. This feels like there's a god nearby. There's something that has cast its form because it was so close to something that it's been looking for a very long time.
Can I look around and try to pinpoint where that's coming from?
All right, give me a perception or investigation check as you begin to look around.
Mayra is gonna blurt out what Erebus and her was thinking about. The books. They're like memories. They're like mirrors into the planes, or reflecting the planes.
Like whose memories? What are you thinking? Like the god, the betrayer gods' memories? Like their history?
I think so. This is a reflection.
Like they write them?
This has to be a record of everything that they have transpired into their planes. Something.
For Jet, what'd you get?
24.
As you turn to look, you watch as this shadowy hand manifests around and out of Keen's form, and it immediately projects towards you and grabs you. You feel this hand begin to encircle your chest, your shoulders, your arms, and it's slowly squeezing. Squeezing. You feel your breath vacate. You feel your life energy begin to drain. You feel yourself beginning to lose consciousness as this hand is this ghostly, smoky hand is beginning to suffocate you. Gork, you could see the rebuke affect Keen's form. You watch as his hand comes out of the shadowy form, grabs onto Fridget, and you watch as a gateway opens, and she's being dragged towards it.
Fridget's being dragged to the gateway?
Across the deck, kicking.
Is Keen how close is Keen to me?
Keen's about 20 feet away from you. Fridget's about 30 feet away from you. Currently, Fridget, you are restrained and incapacitated as you're being dragged across the deck towards this open gate.
Am I the gateway? Or...
King, all of this begins to make sense to you now. As you turn to consider stepping through the gate, and you look over at your prize, Fridget being dragged with you, all the two of you have to do is step through that gateway, and the final book would be revealed to you. Everything you've ever wanted. She still has the box in her hands. She brought it up to bring to you. Gork, you see that she is holding something, but the hand is restraining her, making it impossible for her to wiggle free. Keen takes a step towards the gateway. She turns, the flaming crown growing ever brighter as the shadow around her takes form.
Hold on. Can I cast Hold Person on Keen?
Yes, I believe there's a save for that. Correct?
DC 17 Wisdom.
Make a wisdom. Well, she already made that wisdom save. That was the 20.
Against the spell I'm casting now.
Mm-hmm. It immediately causes Keen to stop in her tracks, right in front of the gateway. There's this scream of anger that just explodes out, and that's what Abraxas and Mira finally hears something going on the main deck. This explosion of just pure anger and frustration as the gateway collapses, the hand fades, box drops to the ground. Braxis and Mary, you come up to the main deck to see Keen kind of stagger and swoon a bit near the edge of the railing. Gork with just crusted blood on his face, and Fridget on the ground picking herself up.
Yeah, I'm gonna haul ass, fly over to the edge where Keen is closest to, and be like interposing between her and Sky.
Yeah. Keen, you feel yourself present again. You remember being angry and coming up here, but you're not sure why Gork looks the way he looks. Why is Fridget on the ground?
Yeah,
everyone's staring strangely.
Mira's gonna do med check on Gork and Fridget.
Do I remember the gate at all?
No.
I'm gonna go straight up to Keen, and I'm gonna press my hand into her forehead, and I will once again cast protection from evil and good.
I'm just gonna start like, what happened?
What happened?
I believe.
Gork, give me a wisdom save as you cast that spell on her.
Wisdom saves, hooray! Hold on. 0. 19.
Okay.
What?
Are you trying to touch Keen to cast that spell?
I have to, yes.
Oh, then she's gonna get squirmy. She didn't like to be touched.
Continue.
Are you okay, Fridget? What happened? She'll get you up.
You'll hear Gork, hold still, Keen. As I finally, I guess, just get a hold on her somewhere on like her shoulder, and I once again protect her. I believe that was Asmodeus.
Here?
Did you open the books?
What? No, we did not.
Well, actually, we did downstairs.
The box downstairs.
Yeah, we opened it downstairs, and opened some access to some baddie action, and now Keen is dealing with the consequences. Let's not read the books.
It's almost like we have eyes on us, because when I said that we were coming close to the end, everything will be much more as good as we are doing. Someone else is also doing good on another time to try and intervene. As we are getting stronger, so the equal and opposite force against us.
I'll go ahead and lay on hands on Keen as well for 60 points.
Okay.
1-6?
60.
60. Okay.
Wow.
Thank you.
So now, Asmodeus is in the material plane?
I'm gonna detect magic on Keen and everyone.
So
The
you're saying
normal items that you'd expect to detect are there.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else untoward really appears.
so from what people are saying is Asmodeus somehow like came at us through me.
We tried.
Well, that's the one you're connected to.
That is the one you're connected to.
Yeah.
And there was a really big, awful monster devil thing that came falling out of us.
This guy.
Oh, that was
Sky.
everybody saw that? Everyone saw that?
The three of them. Well, for Jet and Gork saw it. Keen has no memory of it.
There was a break in the sky and something came out.
I'm gonna get Keen, like usher her closer to the center of the ship and not the edge, because accidents. And I'm gonna cast Greater Restoration on her to remove a curse.
The moment you do that, Abraxas,
I'm
give me a
gonna use
constitution.
a handful of residuum.
Give me a con save with advantage, since you're gonna use one of the most rare elements in the known Exandrian world.
Guidance.
D4 guidance.
So this is with advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where are my saves?
Okay, kitty cat.
Suddenly I feel like a ticking time bomb.
Time bomb.
I see what you did there, kid. Your name matches your puns. You're right on edge. The sharpness of your wit.
A dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
It's a shit roll.
There's... All of you watch as when Abraxas does this, this dark form begins to hover around Keen and then is reabsorbed back into her.
It does not want to let go.
So I saw that too. I saw this thing come out of
This
me.
time you saw it because Abraxas was very particular in what he was trying to do.
Do I feel like it was targetable for that moment?
Yes.
Visually, it looked like it was real.
Here's my question. I'm sorry. We've already had a long rest since.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's been 2 days.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Fair's fair. I don't want to be a cheater.
Abraxas.
Yeah.
Do that again.
Hey, sorry, my mic just turned off for a second.
No worries.
I have an idea.
Well, if we're all going to do something, let's do it.
Keen is looking very, because it's probably like the four of you all looking at me.
Like an exorcism?
An intervention.
Keen, we told you that those microtransactions on those games were going to be the death of us.
Yeah.
Our American Express is ruined. Somewhere off in the distance, you hear a roar,
Mm-hmm.
a screech, almost human-like wail of pain and anger kind of crackles with energy.
So I'm doing this again?
Yes.
I will prepare banish, and I'll hold it for when the thing reappears.
Yeah. I actually have planar binding that I was gonna hold it in place.
Ooh.
Hold it in place. And
What's the cast time on that? A minute, I believe.
Let me see.
It's either a minute or
It's
instant. I'm trying to remember because someone used that in another one of the campaigns. It's fucking. I love that spell.
It's 1 hour.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So
But what if I just like really sped it up really fast and like okay.
Can you
Mayra, come
Mayra-
on. Come on.
Fine.
You know your spells at this point. We're
He's-
18th level.
I know, and I really wanted to use this spell. Dang it. Fine. I can't do it then.
Perhaps I can use magic circle to hold it.
How long does it take to cast that?
I can do it at will.
There you go.
But how long does it take to cast?
1 action.
Magic circle is 1 action?
There you go.
Mhm.
See,
Okay.
we're teamwork there.
The team works, the dream works. Sort
Okay.
of. Oh my god, you guys put cheesecake, you're so adorable. I just realized what you put in Discord. That is awesome.
It's not me having to check what I put in Discord. Oh.
So this is a casting time of 1 minute, magic circle.
Yeah.
Oh crap! You're right.
Well,
You're
but
right.
in the time that Abraxas uses his spell, and the demon comes out, then it would.
Can I prepare a spell like that? Like cast it over a minute, then hold it, or will it instantly have to go out?
Yeah. Like he preps it. He's preparing the spell.
Because
right
if
now.
I can do that, then we could just have Mira do that with her spell, and I wouldn't need to use magic circle.
Well, Mira's is an hour.
Yeah, but she could prepare
Versus
it
I'm
over it.
Cast it for like almost
if-
dead.
Wait.
I will tell you this much. There is
So wait
something
an
in
hour?
Gork's spell that is incredibly important if you're going to use this.
Magic circle
Uh-huh.
or ban. Okay. Let me magic circle.
Wink, wink.
Slow
look.
seals, elemental fae, fiends,
It
undead.
can't-
Meanwhile, the
It kicks you
screeching-
out. It doesn't. It keeps you from going in, not coming out.
No, you can invert the circle. You can invert the
Screaming
circle.
and wailing is getting a little bit closer.
Perhaps Keen will
Okay,
have to
well,
wait.
I'm prepping the planar binding then, if that's the case.
Okay.
I'm prepping it.
Hey, Mary, you're in the process of going through the ritual, the ceremony, and you're having Keen hold still. Gork, are you doing the inverted magic circle at the same
Yes,
time?
I will.
Okay.
I will basically cast it, like do my little spell ritual, whatever I need to do, and then I will hold it. And then as soon as Mira tells me that she is ready, I'm
Mhm.
gonna put the circle. Actually, I probably don't have to wait that long. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait like half an hour.
Yeah.
While Mira's doing her thing, because mine lasts an hour. The spell
Mine lasts an hour too. Oh, wait, no, 24 hours.
You're no, I don't really.
Your-
No, that's not.
Yours
the point.
takes an hour to cast, as we say.
Yours
So
takes-
he's gonna
yeah.
He's gonna
Yours
start
takes
his.
an hour to cast. So I'm gonna start mine now. In about 20 minutes, I am going to cast magic circle around her. That gives you a 20-minute period to cast your spell once Abraxas pops the little dude out of her.
Okay. Yeah.
But wait, wouldn't don't I want to try and keep it from going back into Keen, or is that what Smears is supposed to do?
Well, yeah, it takes them out and planes them,
whole
binds them to
point
the
of-
plane here
The
for
whole
a whole
point of
24
Magic
hours.
Circle is that so when Abraxas pulls that demon thing out of her, it doesn't
Mhm.
immediately just go back into Keen because I'd have to travel through the circle.
Yeah, and then like if I do planar binding, you could actually banish the guy, right?
Yeah.
Because
I'm
I
not
can
sure how
hold
that
him
spell
for 24 hours.
What does
So we
planar binding do?
With this spell, you attempt to bind a celestial, elemental, fey, or fiend to your service. It must be within range. The target must make a charisma saving throw. A bound creature must follow your instructions to the best of its ability.
That doesn't really help us.
No, we could gather information from it.
I can cast Zone of Truth in an action.
Yeah.
Are
So
we
it can't lie
trying?
to
Are
us.
we trying to capture this creature or simply get rid of it?
Well, we need it out of Keen.
So
Either
should
way.
we prioritize getting rid of it, or prioritize trying to enslave it,
We could
servitude
get
it, whatever?
all the information that we need and then banish it.
What would it tell us? That it serves one of the 9
What did we see come out of Keen?
dark shadowy form?
It just felt like something that was trying to take a corporeal form. It was this shadow that just flourished out, struggled against your spell, and then went back inside.
Abraxas. I can cast this spell in a minute.
Since you asked the question, Abraxas, it did appear the smoke took on feather-like form.
Feather-like.
Like two great feathery wings came out as smoke and then came back in.
Abraxas. How about this? I will cast Magic Circle. When I am ready to release the spell, you will cast Restoration on her again. I will trap it within the circle so that it does not try and re-enter Keen. It forces it to stay put. This will give Mira time to cast her spell to try and bind it to our will. Until we are done with it, then I can banish it.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Affirmative.
Mira, start your spell. We will capture it in a minute after you have started.
While all of this is happening,
Okay.
I'm going to just keep Keen with my detect magic and my focus on her to make sure that the thing inside her is not reacting to us talking about the plan to destroy it.
It doesn't.
Because if it gets desperate,
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like that kind of connection. This feels like, once again, this like as you stare at Keen, and Keen is surprisingly calm, considering everything that's just happened in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Can I cast Divine Sense while we're waiting for Mira to prepare her spell?
Absolutely. You can cast Divine Sense.
What does that tell me?
There is a celestial presence.
Celestial.
Well,
Abraxas, there is a celestial presence in her. It isn't a demon. But then again, gods are celestials. Even the ones from hell. I guess we're about to find out.
yeah, exactly.
Can I make like a history check on that question?
Sure, go for it.
What is going on?
everything's gonna be fine, Keen.
15.
15? I mean, it could be a fallen.
Mhm.
It could be a fallen.
It's a fallen.
For you, for Jet, fallen angels are dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
unpredictable, erratic, unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably good I figured that out. Magic Circle would not have held it otherwise.
Oh, it would have.
It would have.
Well, I have to designate what kind of creature it holds, and I would have selected
Fair.
the being
But
or-
everything you guys are doing doesn't affect demons or devils.
Mm-mm.
Well, except for mine spell, it does celestials.
Well, Magic Circle would hold a fiend or
Yeah, but not a demon or devil. And right now, There's a celestial presence emanating around Keen with very dark tones of energy.
Okay. After a while of Mira preparing her spell, I would do mine as well.
Do I feel any of that?
I did.
You feel the attention of your friends and their concern. You feel the weight of the vestige on your brow. The part that is frustrating you is the level of your anger that keeps welling up inside you. It feels uncontrolled. You feel it all happening again. The victimization. You don't need this kind of attention. There's a smoldering sense of lashing out behind your eyes. And already your mind is racing through some of your more destructive capabilities. You just hear words at the back of your mind. Lies. Falsehoods.
Is it talking about my friends?
Lies. They have all lied. I've seen their lies. I've seen their falsehoods.
Oh, I'm gonna clutch at my head and yell out, leave me alone.
Do you think this world exists solely for the pleasure of your kind? Gods, demons, devils, playthings to creation.
I'm gonna scream out, I will not be used.
Creation.
Back up from them.
Founding.
Mayra's gonna run up to Keen, and she's gonna hold her hand. And
If
put
you
some
do that,
oil-
it'll disrupt your spell.
You're casting for an hour. You're committed to this for an hour.
Yes.
If you
okay.
do any
Unable
physical
to do
change,
anything else for an
it
hour.
will be undone.
Only have to hold it until we can get it out of her.
Dang.
So I'm
Do I
assuming-
have to hold still in one
No,
place too?
she has to. She is casting a spell for an hour, meaning
Yeah, no,
she
but
is
is
going.
it like-
She doesn't have to worry about being-
Well, no,
the
she's
entire hour.
using physical components. She's doing
Yeah.
kind of like runes on the ground.
Everything.
This
is
spell is
happening.
complex.
Do I need to stay in a certain place?
You need to stay in the middle of where Mira is currently circling around you
Okay.
and creating this binding spell
I'm-
that's focusing her to have to ignore your pain. Mira,
Mhm.
give me a concentration save.
What?
One of your good friends is in severe pain right alongside you.
Concentration? You mean the constitution?
Con save. Just
Plus
like
3, 'cause
just like
you're
you're concentrating on a spell.
plus 3 'cause you're
that's-
close to me.
25.
Okay. It's painful, but you're doing it.
So I'd say would my spell be ready by now? It only takes a minute to prepare.
A little bit of smoke begins to leak out. Feathers, black and gray, begin to form within the smoke. Do you really think all of this is to satisfy the curiosity of mortal existence? Those memories are the memories of founding. They contain everything anybody needs to know to make worlds, to make existence to continue the great lie that you and yours are the children of gods. The angels wept when you were formed.
Can I do anything to shut out that voice?
Everything that you think we are. Everything that you think you are is a lie.
Shut up.
You are a fractured memory of false failures of creatures that dabbled in the idea of creation, and their memories lie in a box with children around it.
Does she still have protection from evil and good on her from someone?
No.
Nope.
That would have worn off.
Okay.
The smoke billows out
I'm-
more. Feathers begin to form into wings.
I'm going to try and get her to, hey, stay with us. Stay with us. Don't give in. Fight it. It can't. We're right here, and we will help you. And I'm going to cast
Blue,
lesser.
silver, shadowed, like shoulders. Begin
Lesser
to form
restoration
out.
to
A
help
bald head begins to form out of the back of hers.
Oh,
Silver, opaque eyes begin to form as this form is now coming out of the back of Keen. These feathered wings of black ash flapping behind her.
Yeah.
Mara, give me a concentration save, Abraxas. Greater restoration.
No. I'm not greater restoration. Not yet.
Okay.
The protection from evil and good.
Okay.
Would my magic circle be ready yet?
Your magic circle is complete at the moment this form is trying to come out of Keen's.
Abraxas. Ow.
25.
So
I love
greater
my friends.
restoration.
Okay.
Do I feel it?
You now begin to
Can I
feel
touch
this.
it?
You feel this energy kind of like just coming out of your form, but it just feels like a muscle spasm, a release of energy. This feeling that something that was linked to you since the time that you touched that book, since the time you reached into that stasis field around you, those faces leering and staring, all these hands reaching for that book. But somewhere in the background of that memory, a shadowed form realizing that it was too late, anchored itself to the book that it's been looking for since the beginning of time. And that's when your memory links to that feeling you had when you retrieved that book. Form begins to peel away from Keen's form. Wings flapping, bald blue silver head, bright silver eyes, no mouth. Just this visage of this celestial entity rising up and out of Keen's form. Ashen clouds beginning to spin around everyone. Mara continues to work on the circle.
If I
Gork,
can touch it, can I do
yeah,
something?
you reach out, you feel the energy, and you feel this sense of just darkness trying to consume you. This inevitable hate and terror, this hatred towards you and what you represent. These tiny little bipedal insects that don't deserve any of this. This sense of a long festering hate and the search for the books that can remake the others made and should not have made. This creature Gork and Abraxas, what are you two doing? You're beginning to watch the rending happen, the bifurcation of this form out of Keen, and now she's physically having to react to it. She's now feeling this burn and this feeling of separation of energy and form.
Abraxas.
And you watch as dozens of Keens begin to blossom out.
Oh no.
And get pulled back in.
Abraxas, do it now.
Out.
I did it.
Pulled back in.
I did it already.
Magic circle on the Celestial. I thought you hadn't done it yet.
No, I did protection from good and evil, but that's gone now because I have to do. Actually, no. Greater restoration isn't concentration. So yeah, she's protected from good and evil, and now greater restoration.
And then as soon as the Celestial pops out, I'll encase it in a inverted circle of magic circle.
And can I try and pull Keen out of the
Keen, give me a
circle?
final wisdom save with advantage, because Abraxas is going to pull you out the moment that Gork anchors this creature into the circle.
+3 because you're within 30 feet.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
15.
The first attempt was going to be a 15. That was the starting of the DC. So you just barely made it. Abraxas, as you push through the energy and grab onto Keen's wrist, the moment that you pull at her and the circle finishes while Mira is still doing the binding ritual, the circle keeps the creature in place as you pull Keen's form away from the creature, and you hear this kind of ripping sound as you do it, this kind of almost like a muscle or tendon being shredded as it happens. Keen, you're going to take 42 points of force damage from the effect of being pulled out and through the circle's effect and away from this creature that just now sits there. Its wings flapping, smoke and ash of feathers. Its great blue form with tints of silver and like tendrils of like purplish energy kind of pulsing through its anatomical form that is both genderless and without any sense of physical existence, almost like Dr. Manhattan slightly, right? But just but these great vestiges of wings that are flapping off its form. You can see the feathers kind of like turning to ash as this angel. And now its face leers in the direction of Gork.
Hello there, stupid. How do you feel now in your little cage?
I'll just I'll pull out my sword and I'll just sit there and wait.
Can we
Storm
go through the circle or
returns.
no?
The great arcs of light return. Huge rending strikes across the horizon of the sky, kind of exploding all around. And as you look, pouring through these rents, these vents of energy, hundreds of similar forms to this one, thousands of similar forms to this one begin to pour through these gateways, these things that are ripping open as this great storm. And this creature in the circle just...
Yeah. How much longer do you have for that spell?
I just need a little bit more time.
Can I reach through the circle or no?
Yes.
I can. I cast. Let's see. It's. I'm gonna reach through and touch it and cast inflict wounds at 4th level.
As you do that, you feel it immediately rebound on you. So make a save, please. Make whatever your save is with your DC.
There is no save because it's an attack.
All right, roll for damage.
Oh gosh.
Keen, what are you doing?
Snake eyes.
Snake eyes.
All right, 46. Necrotic.
I will. I will.
Did
take
I
that-
not-
I will take that damage for you.
Okay.
Keen, stop.
The entire
Look.
ship is now surrounded by thousands of these winged creatures.
I do not think we have time for this.
The storm building, the great arcs of purple and pink lightning shattering around the ship. Explosions of energy and arcane light. The creature, its silver eyes just staring at Gork,
I just.
staring over to Mira for Jet, Abraxas, and Keen, and it just sits there in its little circle of containment.
I'll just. I do not want to wait. I will just cast Banish on it.
She's still gonna continue doing the binding.
The storm abates. The creature disappears. The thousands of its form disappear. The snow begins to snow again.
I will.
What do you guys do?
I will kind of look over to Keen, and I will cast Divine Sense.
No sense of any connection.
Whatever that thing was, it is gone now.
Keen's
Sin-
gonna collapse to the deck. 'Cause
Mm.
she's been through a lot, and she's also pretty hurt at this point. So yeah, she's gonna sink down to the deck.
How long has that thing been inside of you? Do you know?
Since I got the 9th book. So since the Citadel.
It is gone now.
Thank you.
I wonder if he could reach through you, or to you through it. Why did it not try sooner? Why did it not try when we were fighting any of its myriad of creatures he has sent us? Why now?
It's the presence of the books.
The books?
It happened after we opened the box.
Mara, you hear Erebus in your mind. It happened after she got angry.
And she's still gonna try and finish the binding inscription, even though it's probably not. It's not gonna be effective, but knowing that it's there on the ship, she's just gonna leave it there.
Okay. So you finish the activity of the binding circle.
But I'll use a knife to carve into the planks of the wood,
Yeah.
because never again would she want her friends to go through that.
And it's there and it could be used at any time anything is lured into that position. It's affixed. Just
How are
feel
you
the
feeling?
ship sway under the wind a bit. The sense that the automatons are active. Snow is now just kind of drifting onto the ship.
Do I still feel the connection to the books?
You do not. It's almost like you feel like you have control again. A kind of burden lifted. A sense of understanding. If what this creature was saying was true, it's possible that what you and your friends possess are the memories of when gods built existence. They built this world, the astral sea, time. If those books are memory, the problem is not what's been fighting you. What's been fighting you and trying to prevent all of you from getting these books. Those weren't actual gods that you fought. Those were memories. Those were memories. Stygian Gate, Book of Dis, the Twins. These books are using their own memories to try and deal with the fact that the five of you have them. And the final book is using its understanding of how it came into existence to tempt, to convince, to manipulate you away from it. Like most memories, they require conclusion. They require a sense of finality. You get the feeling that these books are absorbing your memories and everybody else's. You come to the sudden realization, Keen, through that remembrance of the different creatures reaching for that book. The gate that would have led anyone down into the 9th level of hell. These memories, you become to realize that everything, these memories are of things that have already happened. These memories are an exposition of power that has already happened. These books, if placed in that citadel, may be protectorate from others that look for it, but it means that it will never end. It'll go on, and balance will never come to this world or any other world. Subjugated to these memories, the sudden realization that you and your friends have to conclude the calamity. And in your mind, a place, a familiar heat, familiar smell of sulfur, and a familiar voice that gave you that ring. Deep in the fire warrens of Kravaraad, somewhere down there is the real solution to all of this. And a very patient wizard, a very patient entity, sits in the roots of that mountain, waiting for its memories to be returned to it, waiting for conclusion, waiting for finality. see and hear his voice when he gifted you that ring.
Drexelhaven.
You all hear her utter that name, Drexelhaven. Does anyone... Oh, you've been devoid of the possession of the Celeste. Keen, you now speak Celeste. Drexelhaven means heaven above in Celestial.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to finish tonight, as it is now 7 o'clock, and it feels like a good spot to stop, as the truth of the books have finally been revealed. Guess what, folks? That was the milestone. You guys are now level 19.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last one. It was the revelation of the books. I will tell you this much. Opening the box and not opening the book was the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now, because I'm pretty sure you guys are not going to open books at this point on.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
Depending on which book you opened, would have revealed a memory that you would have had to live through.
Mm. I see.
That's good.
Wow.
And so these are books are the memories of the founding.
They're the memories of creation and the founding, the period of when the prime deities and the betrayer gods fought over the idea of creation. Let's set them against each other.
Well, yeah. See, you don't want to read the books.
I want to know the truth about the founding.
Yeah.
We learned that there is another option besides following
following the directions.
Yeah.
Everybody else has been telling us.
Stupid directions.
So welcome to level 19, you silly, silly fools.
Rumble our way to the best possible outcome.
And what we'll do is we'll come back of the morning of day 4, which is less than a day away from getting to the region of the rendered, and we'll be on our way to Anchor's Weight and see what we do from there. Are we good for next week, everyone?
We'll talk. I am not.
Is this a permanent problem or just for next week?
It is for next week.
Okay.
And then it's like every other until I can work it out.
Okay. So let's still plan on meeting next week for now until we know definitively.
Next week is a no.
Okay. So next week is a definite
no for me, but that's a definite no for me. But it doesn't mean you guys can't do one shots and whatnot. But I or continue without Abraxas even. But that is
one shot.
That is.
I mean,
unfortunately,
if you guys want me to, I can give you a level 21 shot. And we can use our existing. We can use our existing timeline for that. That might be kind of fun.
Whoa!
Let's do it.
I haven't run a one shot for a while, so I'd love to. So, we'll put a normal event up. We'll do a 4-ticket event. Abraxas, I sent you an email that you can take care of tonight. Okay, cool. So other than that, all right then. Greying Wildlands is going to take next Sunday off, and I will be posting in the Discord what the one shot's going to be. Go ahead and use the existing Greying Wildlands link to build whatever level 20 thing that you want to build. It will take place. It will take place during the battle of the founding. Pre-Arcanum.
Whoa.
So it'll take place when the Titans and the gods were manipulating their children into war.
The return of Cornholio.
Cornholio's a god.
He may not be a paladin this time. He might be something else, but we'll see.
Praxis, you suddenly just like, oh my god, that sounds like so much fun.
I know it does sound fun as shit. But,
So,
yeah.
storyteller, I'll assume you'll put in our Discord like all the stuff we'll need to know, like what stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll give you guys a full prep and everything, so we're good. All right, everyone, thank you for coming out and watching. That was a really fun, heavy session, folks, because now the reveal has been done. You know what they are. You know what they can do. Keen is free of the fallen Azimir that's been chasing after these books for a very long time, since the founding. And the realization of finding that ninth memory and then bringing it back all full circle to Draxelhaven, back to the roots of the Kravaraad volcano.
Wow. A lot going on.
All right, everyone. Be kind.
Peace.
Play a game.
Be safe. Play a game. It's good for you. It's good for your mind. Night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
One of these days I will be on the thing, on the thing. That thing.